Tennis Hall of Fame, host of Holding Court with Patrick McEnroe on Sirius XM, and co-host of Mac Daddy, Patrick McEnroe, along with women's sports advocate for the California Family Council and former collegiate soccer player Sophia Lorey. It is fantastic to have both of you here with me. Of course, Patrick, I have to start with you. What do you think about Sabalenka's stance? Not whether or not you agree with it, but do you think it's good for her to chime in on such a hot topic, or should she just stick to tennis?
Oh, she should absolutely chime in. I mean, that's part of the responsibility of being an elite athlete in a sport like tennis. So listen, Katrina, I've spent my entire life in elite sports. So I look at this first through the lens of competition, right? I don't believe athletes who are born male should compete at the highest levels of women's sports because, as Arena said, I think protecting fairness is highly important. At the same time, that doesn't mean I'm anti-trans. Far from it. I believe transgender people deserve the same dignity, the same respect, the same opportunity as everyone else. And I think those two beliefs can exist together.
I think that's a great point. Sophia, you and I have talked about this before, and no one here is against anyone being trans or trans athletes competing in sports at a high level. But the debate here is it physically safe? I mean, there's a whole locker room issue, but is it physically safe for these biologically male athletes to play against biologically female athletes? And in many cases, we've seen it is not safe, and it's also not fair. Do you think, say, this gene testing idea is something that other sports might get behind? Do you think this will settle the debate, or do you think there will always be people out there who say transgender people are the gender they claim to be?
Yeah, I think this gene testing is a great idea. I think it's a step in the right direction. It's the best way to make sure that it's only females in female sports and males in male sports. At the end of the day, you can love all people, but you can strongly disagree with an ideology that people are choosing to live by. And it's very simple. Identities don't play sports, bodies do. We need to make sure female sports remain for female only.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Patrick, because, you know, we know Sophie Cunningham, of course, WNBA superstar. She's very outspoken, but also now she's being attacked because she believes that trans athletes should not play in women's sports, basically biological men. But now she's getting a label, as people tend to when they're not operating in the echo chamber. She's now being called MAGA Barbie because she's defending biological women. This is from this website, Jezebel, calling her the latest grifter to peddle anti-trans rhetoric, which actually makes no sense. She's an elite athlete, to use your phrase, and she is sharing her opinion. Do you see anything wrong with that? Why should she be labeled with any political name calling? Why should she suddenly be drawn into politics?
Well, she shouldn't be. I mean, I'm not here to speak as a politician or an activist. I mean, I'm speaking as someone who spent more than 40 years in high-performance tennis. That's a sport that I've been lucky enough to be involved in. And elite sports are built on the rules. I mean, designed for fair competition. Every sport has to make pretty difficult eligibility issues, whether it comes to, drugs, whether it comes to, different gender issues as well. And I think those decisions should be made thoughtfully, consistently, and certainly with respect to everyone involved. And, people often want to turn this into an all or nothing debate. I don't see it that way. Supporting fairness in women's sports is not the same as being against transgender people. I think we can respect all individuals while also recognizing that sports governing bodies have to establish eligibility rules that they believe create fair competition. That's paramount here.
Yeah, there's a responsibility to those governing bodies, and at the end of the day, it's about sports. It shouldn't be about politics. To me, I'll say, don't get it twisted, but apparently people do. All right, Patrick, Sophia, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. And a Canadian